Turn that jungle music off now. The shout sliced through the joyful haze, followed instantly by the sickening crunch of a nightstick, shattering a 7-tier wedding cake. Guests gasped as the police officer, whose name was Officer D. Davies, continued his rampage. His baton splintered carefully wrapped gifts and obliterated floral arrangements. He had no idea his racist fury wasn't just destroying a celebration. It was demolishing his entire life and career. In front of the city's most powerful people, the afternoon sun, warm and golden, filtered through the broad leaves of the ancient oak tree in Elias Vance's new backyard in the exclusive enclave of Ashwood Heights. Laughter mingled with the smooth, intricate melodies of a live jazz quartet. Elias stood on the stone patio, his arm wrapped securely around his new wife. Dr. Maya Solis, this was the culmination of a dream. A beautiful colonial, a sanctuary that symbolizes success unconfined by zip code. I think Maya whispered, "This might be the most perfect day of my life." Elias kissed her head. "It's just the first of many." The peace was shattered by the discordant presence of Officer Davies. His posture rigid with unearned authority, he strode across the lawn, his boots crushing the pristine grass. The officer marched right up to Elias. "I'm getting noise complaints," Davies said, his voice flat. His gaze flickered over Elias's tailored suit. Then to Maya, a sneer barely contained. "This isn't the kind of neighborhood for this sort of racket, Elias." A supervisory special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, kept his expression neutral. He gently disengaged from Maya. "Officer, my apologies if the music is loud. This is our wedding reception. We can certainly ask the band to turn it down. I'm Elias Vance, by the way." Davies ignored the extended hand. "I don't care who you are, I care about the law. And the law says you're disturbing the peace." His gaze swept over the diverse faces in the crowd. "You people need to learn that when you move into a place like this, you follow the rules." The casual, venomous phrase curdled the atmosphere. The jazz quartet fell silent. Elias's mind shifted from host to professional. Officer Davies, Elias said, a new harder edge of authority in his tone. "We are well within the city's noise ordinance for a Saturday afternoon. However, as a professional courtesy, we'll lower the music," Davies scoffed. "Professional courtesy? What's your profession? Rapper, drug dealer?" "That's completely out of line," Maya said, her voice shaking with anger. "Ma'am, I suggest you stay out of official police business." "This is harassment," Elias stated. "And for the record, officer, my profession is law enforcement. I'm a supervisory special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation." Davis looked Elias up and down, a smirk of disbelief spreading. "FBI, right? And I'm the president. You really think flashing a fake title is going to get you out of this? I've seen your kind try that trick 100 times. From the corner of Elias's eye, he saw two figures near the large oak tree, Police Chief Thomas Sullivan and Mayor Patricia Owens. They were witnessing the rot within their own systems. Officer Elias said, his voice now dangerously quiet, "I am giving you one final opportunity to leave my property. If you do not leave now, I will file a formal complaint for misconduct, racial profiling, and abuse of authority, and I assure you it will be handled at the highest level." To Davies, this was the ultimate act of defiance. The last vestige of his professional restraint disintegrated, replaced by raw rage. His hand went to the heavy black button hanging from his belt. "You think you can threaten me?" he snarled. He unclipped the button. "You come into my neighborhood with your loud jungle music and your disrespect." Before anyone could react, Davies launched. He went for the symbol. The first impact, against the magnificent wedding cake, was a sickening thud. He brought the baton down again and again, smashing champagne flutes and gifts. Elias stood frozen for a half second. Then his FBI training took over. Documenting the systematic destruction, Davies stopped, chest heaving. A triumphant, ugly smile. Twisting his lips, he pointed the frosting-covered baton at Elias. "Let this be a lesson. This is a quiet community. We have standards. I believe that's quite enough." "Officer Davies," Chief Sullivan's authoritative voice cut through the air. "And who are you?" Davies demanded. "I'm your boss. I'm Police Chief Thomas Sullivan." "And I'm Mayor Patricia Owens," the second man said. "We were both here today to celebrate the marriage of our friend, Special Agent Elias Vance." The color drained from Davis's face. The man he had racially profiled was a federal agent, a friend of the city's top leadership. The baton slipped from his nerveless fingers. "Davies, you are a disgrace to this uniform," Sullivan said, his voice laced with cold fury. "Give me your cuffs." Numbly, Davies handed over the handcuffs. The metallic click-click, as the steel bracelets locked around his wrist, was the sound of immediate, undeniable consequence. Officer Davies, you are under arrest for assault, destruction of property, and official misconduct. As two officers led Davies away, Elias held Maya tight. The victory felt cold. This wasn't the end, it was the start of the systemic fight. The following morning, Elias, Maya, Chief Sullivan, and Mayor Owens gathered for a war council. They knew Davies was just a symptom. The real fight was against Sergeant Bill O'Connell and Union Representative Don Kramer, who were already constructing a false narrative. They won't succeed, Mayor Owens stated. I am formally requesting the Department of Justice open a pattern or practice investigation into the Ashwood Heights Police Department. Elias immediately launched a federal civil rights investigation. FBI warrants swiftly overrode union objections, revealing Davis's file 17 complaints over 12 years, all ruled unfounded by O'Connell. The smoking gun was a subpoena.
Email chain between Kramer and O'Connell,
confirming a conspiracy to fabricate reports to cover up prior abuse. The trio had been operating a criminal enterprise. Mayor Owens went public announcing the federal investigation and the immediate suspension of O'Connell for obstruction of justice. Chief Sullivan initiated sweeping internal reforms, establishing an independent civilian complaint review board and a zero-tolerance policy for false reports, dismantling the blue wall from within. 6 months later, facing irrefutable evidence from the FBI, including eyewitness accounts from Mayor and Chief Davis, O'Connell and Kramer all took plea deals. David Davis was sentenced to 5 years in state prison for felony, assault, property destruction, and official misconduct. Sergeant Bill O'Connell received 3 years for obstruction of justice and falsifying official documents. Union Representative Don Kramer was disbarred and received a suspended sentence. The $50,000 civil settlement Elias and Maya received was donated in its entirety to a local nonprofit. Fighting police misconduct, justice in its cold procedural way had been served. The corrupt system was exposed and punished. Elias and Maya stayed in their home. The backyard was repaired, the old oak trees standing firm. They stood together planting new jasmine vines. The peace they had finally achieved was now informed by a quiet, hard-won resilience. They had not just sought justice for a ruined wedding, they had catalyzed an entire city's reform, proving that no uniform can grant a person the right to destroy the dignity and sanctuary of another. The case was closed, the corrupt edifice dismantled, and their new life, built on accountability and love, could finally begin.